In this tutorial, we'll explore how to handle groups and campaigns in RPS Platinum, and the main purpose of having groups and campaigns is communication, chiefly sending targeted email. So in a second, we'll look at how to add or remove people from groups and campaigns, but let's begin by looking at the email blaster, and I'll click on Email, Drip, Blasts, and Groups, and then Send Email, and then click on Send a Blast Message. Now what I'd like to look at is the To button, and this is where you can determine to whom you're going to send an email. Well, let's say I wanted to write something that involved an interested condo interest group, the condo interest group, and my first time home buyers group, and also my general follow-up campaign. Now, I'm ready to send write my email to send to this combination of groups in a campaign. One thing to be aware of, by the way, is that if you have somebody who's a member of multiple campaigns, multiple groups, or a group in a campaign, any combination that puts them on more than one of these that I've checked, the system will catch duplicate email addresses and weed them out, so each email address will only receive one piece of email, so you don't need to worry about duplicates. Well, I'll click Cancel. I just wanted you to see that the end result of having groups and campaigns is to target them for particular email. So now, let's open the main menu, also under Email, Drip, Blasts, and Groups, and now click on Groups specifically. Now first of all, at the top of the screen, you see that I can create groups quite easily. So for example, I could enter here and write Investors, and then simply click the Create Group button. And you see the green check, the group Investors has been created, and here it is on the third line down. Now beginning from the top with the condo interest group, notice that some of the groups have the parenthetical statement Team Group. What that means is that this group was initiated by the team leader, and then each group which he or she creates is populated onto the user's screen. So it's here, and each CRM user has the ability to send email to that group, but only has control over the members that are assigned to them. So let's take a look at what I mean. Here across from the condo interest group, you'll notice that the total membership of this group at this point is 6. As I click it, you see 4 names. These 4 names are assigned to me, Agent Jack Russell, for purposes of this demo. So of these 4 names, I can send them email. I can also manage the group. So for example, if I click Fred Johnson and Don Duquesne, the first 2, let's go over to the right side of the screen and look at what I can do. I can, first of all, reassign these 2 people to another agent. I won't do that now, but I could. I could also delete their records, and notice down below there's a statement, only contacts and leads will be deleted. This will not delete prospects, so we make it extra difficult to delete prospects who are of particular value, of course. Now coming down a little bit, I can choose to add these 2 people who are part of my condo interest group to other groups, and the entire current group list is here. I could also remove them from any group, and the entire list is provided, of course. I can also create a new group from here. I could take these 2 people and I could put them in a home repair group. I may have people interested in how home repairs can boost the value of their property and what to repair and when and that sort of thing. Coming down, I can also add them to a campaign. I have several campaigns here. If I chose to do that and they weren't in one already, I could do that. And if I do choose to add somebody to a campaign, and here you see I have 4 choices, including 1 custom campaign. I have email home search, CMA request, general follow-up, and my home search campaign 2. And in just a second you'll see that you can create variations of existing campaigns. Well, if I wanted, for example, to add them to the home search campaign 2, I could elect which day I want them to start on. And generally you don't want somebody to start on 0 if they've already been in a similar campaign, because the day 0 letter is a welcome, thanks for filling out a form letter, and you don't want them to get that twice. So I could say day 6 or whatever. I can also remove them from any of my campaigns. and I would click Submit if I wanted to do that. So you get the idea that you have multiple choices with the leads in this particular group, the condo interest group. You can add them to campaigns and groups as you need to. Now let's go back. And what I'd like to do is show you something else. You see the column for size of group. Well, I can sort by the size. Here, looking at from the smallest, including 2 groups with 0, or I can sort them from the largest group and go in reverse order of size. Finally, over on the right, you have the edit and you have the delete column. In the edit column and the delete, you'll see these represent the groups which have been created by Jack Russell, not by the team lead, and the groups can be deleted, or if I click the pencil icon to edit, I can edit. So basically, if I wanted to change the name of this group, I could do that by saying Open House Visitors or whatever. Now you see the name here is Open House Visitor Group. So that's how you create groups and move people in and out of new groups or existing groups, or into new or existing campaigns. I should say into existing campaigns. Now let's go down under Email, Drip, Blasts, and Groups and look at campaigns. Now first of all, let's look at the top of the screen. I have the button Create Campaign. If I wanted to create a new campaign, and let's call it Past Client Campaign, I would assign a stationery to that, and since I'm a CRM user, I just have my one stationery. I'll click Create Campaign, and now you see at the bottom of the list the Past Client Campaign. Now, with each RPS Platinum system, you have 3 campaigns built in. The CMA Request Campaign, which goes with the Stealth Sellers Form on your website, the Email Home Search Campaign that goes with your Stealth Buyers Form, and your General Follow-Up Campaign that goes with your Total Access Forms. But here I've also added 2 custom campaigns, my Home Search Campaign number 2 and my Past Client Campaign that we just created. Let's take a look at a little bit more at how these work. I'll use the Email Home Search Campaign, and first of all, you can sort again on group size from smallest to largest or largest to smallest, your choice. And I'll click on the Email Home Search Campaign, which has 16 members. Now this is an overall group instituted for all members of the team. Of the overall 16, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are assigned to me. Let's scroll down a little bit. And I, again, have similar choices. I can reassign. Well, I should check people on the left. Remember to check the names. What you do on the right only affects people checked on the left. So these people I can reassign to another agent, which I will not do at this point. I can delete these records, and recall that this deletes contacts and leads only, not people who are also listed as prospects. I can add the people from this campaign into any of my groups. I can remove them also from any of my groups that exist, or I can add the people from this campaign, people that are checked here, into a new group, which I can give a name on the fly. I won't do that, but the name would go in that blank. I can take these members of a campaign and add them to another campaign, however I'd like to do that. And I would, if I did that, I'd want to tell the campaign which day to begin mailing. Generally, I don't want to start on day 0 because day 0 is the day of the welcome letter. It says thank you for signing the form, etc. You'd probably want to just begin with some content on day 6 or 10 or whatever, because the email campaign letters that follow the initial one don't tie really to any kind of date like a welcome event. You could also remove them, the people checked here on this list, from any other campaign. Once you're done, you would click Submit. Now, let's go back a page and look again at our overall campaign page. And I'll use the Email Home Search again. You notice the column of Test, and I'll click Test Campaign. And what you would do, simply write in a name, and then an email address. The idea of having a test campaign, or the reason, is if you were to read each letter here on the screen, it's going to take a while, whereas you can just have it sent to your email inbox and read it letter after letter after letter all in one place. So if I send that, you see the note, the campaign has been added to the email queue and will be sent shortly. Please remember that when email enters the queue, it may take a few minutes to send as we process thousands of pieces of mail for agents across the United States and Canada. I'll click OK. But let's go ahead and look at the letters. We showed you how you could send the entire campaign to a given email address and read the letters there. But you can modify and read the letters by clicking on the letters icon, as I am doing now. Now, first of all, you can create a new letter for a campaign by clicking Create New Letter. Then you'd simply choose which of your campaigns the letter will involve. Give the letter a subject, touching base or whatever you'd like, what date to send it on, and then simply write your content below in the editor. And then if I were ready to do that, I would click Save. So it's really easy to write a new letter and add it to a campaign. You can also delete letters from campaigns by simply clicking the red X, and you can edit the letters. So I'll click on Edit for the letter from day 4, Your Property Search. If I want to change the subject, I can do that easily. If I want to change the date to send, I'd simply fill in a different number. We'll say 7 in this case. Oops. I can say 7. And I can come down and edit, delete, change any of the text that I'd like to, and then click Save. Now this campaign goes for, you see the last letter here is on day 370. Let me scroll back up. So the email home search campaign, which is associated with your stealth buyers form, goes 370 days. Everybody who signs a form like this, whether it's the CMA request form, the stealth buyers or sellers forms, or the total access form, is automatically added into your newsletter group. We know multiple stories of agents who, after a campaign ran out, even after 370 days, a year, because their contact remained on the newsletter recipients group, they saw business come about later just because the contact kept going. And when it was time to buy, the person felt strongly, or at least enough connected to the agent because of the newsletters, that they did business with them in the end. So be aware that when a campaign ends, your connection still goes on through your newsletter. Now let's go back to our campaign list and continue looking at the email home search line here. We've looked at how to test your letters by sending it to an email address, sending all the campaign, how to edit, add new letters, or change the day that a letter is sent on or its subject line. You would edit the text of the letter here by clicking the pencil icon. Now the copy button, if I click the copy email home search campaign, the system wants me to name the campaign. The reason this exists is if you wanted to create a similar campaign with a different purpose, maybe delete a third of the letters, change another third of them, and keep a third the same, just to make up an example. This would be a better alternative than creating the entire campaign from scratch by naming a campaign and writing every single letter and assigning it a day. So if I wanted to copy this, I could use the title Email Home Search Copy. We'll do that for now. I'll click Save. Now you see my campaign list. I have a custom campaign added to it for the email home search copy. So it can be useful to copy a campaign if you're going to use it for a slightly different purpose than the original campaign. For right now, I'm going to delete this campaign. And you see the note, this campaign and all associated letters will be permanently deleted and cannot be recovered. And you actually have to write the word delete in this box. This is an extra step we've created to avoid accidental deletion. So now I'll click yes, delete this campaign. Well, this concludes our look at campaigns and groups in RPS Platinum. And remember, the main purpose is communication. We started with the email blaster screen and showed you that you can target email to a combination of groups or campaigns, or to individual groups or individual campaigns. The whole point is that you can send the messages you need to send to exactly the folks you want to send it to in Platinum.